Welcome to Truth Be Told, Virginia. The Portsmouth edition.
I'm Hannah.
And I'm Jackie. And
we're the producers of this podcast.
But I think we're gonna take a little time and go back. Kind of let you guys know how we started. So here's what happened, right? Christina, I said, would you be my campaign manager? She said yes. And so we went on this journey of going all over the city of Norfolk, knocking doors. And here's what we found, is people were ready to tell us about what we look like. I got all kinds of questions like, why you got a white lady working for you? And she got all kinds of questions like, you work for a black lady? Like really, they were ready to have conversations about race, and also had to have uncomfortable conversations with her about neighborhoods that I didn't think she was the right person to go send the message. Those conversations on our kitchen floor parlayed into this podcast called Your Neighbor's Hood. And through that process, Christina decided to take a little step back to work on Christina. And I was looking for a co-host.
So I stepped in, and that was...
What event did you step in at?
I stepped in at Yoga So White at the Slover Library. So that was an uncomfortable conversation, and I was ready for it. And so I stepped in, and so everything that I'm doing is on the back of Christina, who started in this position. So I'm really grateful for that. When you start to open your eyes to that, which for me, it's a point of privilege that my eyes were not open to that. But when I started to look around at the street signs in my neighborhood, and just everything everywhere started to be like, whoa, there's a lot of commemorating of some things and a lot of not commemorating of other things. And so our conversations about the history of the country writ large, we wanted to zoom way into our neighborhoods, neighborhoods that are next to mine, that I might live in. We wanted to know stories from the people who are in those spaces. Okay, and so he heard about Portsmouth through the lens of these stories that we're about to hear tonight. So is there any sound that in your mind now is Portsmouth?
Specific sounds? First of all the stories had like different types of themes, and I just was amazed by all the different types of people that were giving these like stories and telling them, and the unique stories that could like make me play with the audio and give them those unique sounds. But to get like specific, and this is gonna sound like really like, just, of course you can say that, but the sound of the people, like I really did love hearing everybody's different stories, and like I really am, like to what Taekwon was saying, like I really do care about hearing like from the source.
Can you tell us a little bit of what you value about Portsmouth that has you saying, I needed to bring my family back here?
Well, we love Portsmouth, right? I mean, it's a beautiful place.
Absolutely.
What I love the most about Portsmouth, cliche again, is us. For real. The diverse as the city is, there's so many individual pockets that makes everybody different, And I think that builds character,
I always hear people say it, but I actually do believe it. Like if I got a group of 10 kids and I saved 5 or 6 of them, yeah, I'm mad I lost 4, but you kind of got to be happy about the ones that kind of made it through. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people move away, get money, or leave without money. But in order for us to build this area up, talent, creatives, innovators need to stay in the area, I can't imagine what skateboarding as a kid would have been like if Tony was 15 years earlier. We would have been way more ready to maybe own businesses as well, So if like we have representation in front of us, we can see ourselves as something else. So the more great people that leave this area, it's less for a younger kid to look out.
Is how did your family, what's one tip or one thing that you can point to that really helped you all to rally around and be there?
It's just the family dynamics of the Black family. Black families, growing up, if you're in the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, our cousins, our sisters, our brothers was our first friends. Your family was our family. If you live next door to us, we all was family. When we got in trouble, everybody got in trouble together.
Senior Services provides in-home help to keep seniors independent and aging in place. If you've ever done any caregiving for your mom, dad, grandfather, grandmother, you know that they do not want to leave their home. And many of them can make it if they have a little bit of support. So we provide caregiver support to let you know that it's okay to have those feelings.
You were told that you are more than just a skate shop.
Right.
So the question for you is, are you?
I think I'm more than a skate shop. Yes.
We knew this would happen tonight, right? We should say we're done because we said we're going to ask you one question. What does that mean to be more than a skate shop in Portsmouth?
I think that being a skate shop, a Black-owned skate shop, is probably not a run-of-the-mill thing that you see often. And then being from Portsmouth, just the conditions that we all grew up in is probably one of the last things you expect to see in Portsmouth. So just having the ability to have a dream, see it come to fruition, and then see people around me support it, the people like me support it, like Taekwon, Eugene. We all have very similar stories, so we always weren't in the positive light of life. So just to be able to give back and people, respect me, is not in a bad way.
But people also don't realize that small businesses pay the most taxes in the city. And I think that needs to be acknowledged. I think that money that they put out needs to come back to them. And that's why our Economic Development Authority takes the effort to make sure they're getting what they need, talk to them, see what they need, initiate programs that can help them sustain their business. I mean, in the past year, we brought events to Portsmouth to drive traffic to Portsmouth, to create foot traffic. We've done the High Street Festival. We have our event planner in the back, Mark Hill.
Hey.
One of our partners, Mark Hill Bonds, has helped us execute that program. That gives opportunities to other small businesses.
As time evolved, all the way up to 1968, when the Fair Housing Act happened, certain particular areas, no banks would lend money to. And it just so happens the majority of those people were Black people in those areas. They started giving certain people in certain areas higher interest rates than other people. Picking up what I'm putting down? Yeah. All right. Now, I'm super nervous, by the way. So now my goal is to make sure I educate our youth and our entire community on how we can make my great-grandchildren be able to buy a house, build equity, build generational wealth, just by educating. So we gotta put ourselves in a position to be successful. That's why it's important to vote every single election.
I always say, never forget where you come from, because as soon as you get it, you can also lose it. So this clock right here is what I always had when we was go outside at nighttime. My grandmama, whatever that stuff she would put in it, so it would not keep the odor in it, that's what we would use at nighttime. And then first thing in the morning, we would take it outside to dump it in today, where we used to do our business in.
Kids for school. So our organization has been rooted in the roots, right? And we consider ourselves a safety net organization because families just have so many things going on. A lot of times when they reach us, they're not even really sure what they need, but they know they need something. And so our role is just to be a safety net, to sort of catch them and give them what they need. Although a lot of times when people are having difficulties and those difficulties are getting acted out, maybe people are angry or depressed or difficult to work with, and the question becomes, what is wrong with you? Right? Why are you acting like that? What is wrong with you? You yourself have seen people out in the community, in your family, and behavior has been curious to you, and you said, what is wrong with you? And so what a trauma-informed care lens and trauma-informed care parenting helps us to understand that the question is really not what is wrong with you, but what has happened to you.
Yeah.
And so our task is to help families and individuals figure out how to recognize that while we cannot change the history, we can absolutely change how we are responding to the history. We do have the capacity to build skills and tools and relationships, because we're relational beings, and we can invest in the just right relationship to help us to make an adjustment so that we can continue, to move forward, recognizing our history, and really just, I'm gonna say, empowering ourselves to chart the course that we want for ourselves in the future.
Some people forget like all the good and kind of focus on the negative about Portsmouth. It's like, oh, it's Portsmouth, they're ghetto. I feel like that's such a, especially like the schools, we're all children, we're trying to find our way. And so I feel like instead of like talking down and degrading, you should like do more uplifting to help them, like, because talking down is not going to fix anything. So I feel like, yeah.
We cannot continue to try and attempt to succumb to the ignorance of others. Okay? We're great. We don't have to prove that we're great. You can see it in the product that comes from us. The old Norcom was a little bit different. But although it was a little bit different and it had its challenges, you have no idea the talent, the intelligence, the poised individuals, the remarkable people that came from there. Because here's the thing, once you come from somewhere like that, you can make it anywhere. To take your talent, as he stated, somewhere else is a disservice to Portsmouth, because we have so many educated and talented people, and we have to make sure that we breathe what we have.